Modern Sydney Harbour is famous for its sparkling blue waterfronts, but sitting directly in the center of that water is an imposing sandstone cliff face holding a very dark history. This is Cockatoo Island. Covering 44 acres, it is the largest island in the harbor. From 1839 to 1869, colonial authorities used this land as a secondary penal establishment, a destination for convicts who had already reoffended within the colonies. Surrounded by deep water and persistent rumors of sharks, the island's geography provided a natural, inescapable cage for the colony's most difficult outcasts. Inside that cage, the living conditions were squalid. Wards designed for 300 men were often packed with nearly 500, creating a cramped, poorly ventilated environment where disease and lack of hygiene were the daily reality. To earn a simple ration of porridge and bread, prisoners were forced to manually excavate the island's solid rock. They spent their days striking at the stone to meet grueling daily labor quotas. The results of that forced labor are still visible in surviving structures, like the guardhouse and mess hall, which demonstrate the scale of the convict-built precinct. By quarrying the ground beneath them to build these walls, the prisoners were effectively carving their own permanent place of exile out of the earth. If you move down from those high sandstone cliffs toward the shoreline, the environment shifts from hand-cut stone to the iron and concrete of heavy industry. The bridge between these eras is the Fitzroy Graving Dock, a massive dry dock excavated by convicts, but designed to serve the burgeoning maritime trade. This historical record proves the dock's origin, showing it was carved entirely out of solid rock using manual labor. The sheer scale of these hand-hewn tiered steps reveals the precision of the masonry required years before steam power reached the island. This convict-built excavation triggered a shift in the island's purpose, beginning a 130-year industrial shipbuilding boom. The lower island rapidly expanded, adding the massive Sutherland Dock to successfully accommodate the ever-growing global maritime traffic. The scale of this output is reflected in the spikes in production during both World War I and World War II, as the island's workshops ran at maximum capacity. The island was critical to the Allied effort, servicing massive naval warships and submarines for defense. This work required specialized heavy machinery, most notably the Titan floating crane, which became a centerpiece of the dockyards. The Titan could lift 150 tons, using a system of complex gearing that dwarfed the workers operating it. The island's core function had transitioned from isolating people from society to actively defending the nation on the global stage. When the massive shipyards suddenly closed down in 1991, this entire industrial complex was instantly transformed into a silent, rusting ghost town. Prime harbor real estate like this is usually sold for commercial development, but the Harbor Trust intervened to protect the existing ruins. They utilized a philosophy of adaptive reuse, repurposing the structures for the public rather than bulldozing the scars of the past. Preserving a site's darkest history relies on finding a vibrant, living use for it, keeping the ruins accessible rather than cordoned off. Those cavernous industrial spaces now serve as canvases for global art, acting as a primary venue for the Biennial of Sydney. The waterfront has become a loud, communal gathering space for events like the Sydney Festival. Visitors can now camp on the northern waterfront, sleeping under the stars in the middle of a UNESCO Heritage Site. Cockatoo Island is physical proof that the most punishing chapters of history can be rewritten into spaces of public liberation and escape.